ज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्त्राश्मकाञ्चनः सुहृन्मित्र्यार्युदासीनम् अध्यस्तद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं शैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम् तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्जात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये समं कायशिरोग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन् प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभीः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्यमच्चित्तो युक्तासीत मत्परः युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चातिस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा यथा दीपो निवातस्थो नेङ्गते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियम् वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते तं विद्यात् दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यो योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समं ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चलति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्येत आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत् प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम् युञ्जन्येवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः.
Good evening, one and all present here. We once again welcome all of you for today evening's Success Mantras from Gita seminar. Today we have a special guest with us, Shreyas Goswami. So our friend Shreyas Goswami is a graduate pursuing his higher studies from Sweden, who is very enthusiastically participating in all the sessions. And he has very wonderful questions to ask us, and he is going to interact with us today. So let us welcome Shreyas Goswami today on the panel, and our dear Rajikrishna Das ji, who has been giving us nourishment since the past many weeks. So we welcome both of you. We welcome both of you for this panel and all of you for today's seminar. So he is going to share his feedback. Shreyas Goswami is also going to share his feedback about the sessions that he has been joining, just like all of you. So over to Shreyas Goswami now. I would request Shreyas Goswami to speak. Over to you, Shreyas.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share few of my experiences from the course. I even before the course started, I was always enthusiastic to understand the concepts which are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, but on my own, it was kind of very hard for me to follow. To get a better picture of what was actually being told in the Bhagavad Gita. But ever since I have started to attend this course, I'd follow the sessions and read the slides and then read the corresponding chapters. I've been able to better understand the flow of the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm very grateful for the entire team for having organized this course, which is I'm very thankful that I'm very benefited from this. And
thank you very much, Shreyas Goswami. Very wonderful feedback. We know that you love the sessions, just like many of the other audience who have been seeing our sessions live on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much for your valuable feedback. And over to Rajikrishna Das ji now.
Hare Krishna. So I'm very happy to be again there with all of you today, Saturday evening, with a wonderful topic, Yoga for Modern Age. And before we go, we have the quiz toppers who have got 10 out of 10 in both quizzes 4 and 5. I congratulate all of them. So clap for them. So I'll just take their name. So just now we had just heard for Shreyas Goswami. So we have Shreyas Goswami, Prakhar Tiwari, Chaitali Malankar, Omkar Radhakrishna, Chitranjan Beral, Dindu Soman, Suvangi Ratha, Nilimna Sharma, Vikram K, Jia S. Sheth, Dhruv Piyush Shah, Hariharan, Gautam, Shrikant Guntupalli, Hariom Pandey, Bhumika, Shiv Kumar Upadhyay, Gyanendra Chari KS, Shiv Pratap Bhavan Desai, Shravan D. Raila, Dr. Vaidya Yogesh B. Shinde. So again, once a very hearty congratulations to all of these quiz winners. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are coming forward today's session. Before that, my one friend, he was on the railway station with a new smartphone he had purchased with all new apps, with train URL, all kinds of apps were there, and his train got late, and he wanted to find how much train is late. He wanted to contact his relatives that my train is late, but his network was not working, and he went to a person whom have a simple Nokia mobile, but it had connectivity, so he could call from that. So what we learn from this, that all the apps which we have in a smartphone is our life, having a lot of gadgets, car, bungalow, which is very good. But our mobile connectivity is compared to our connection with God, yoga, connection with God. And with that connection is there, just like the purpose of mobile is to contact. The internet connectivity will be there when the network is up. Same way our network of human life will be up when we have yoga in life, that is connection with God. And that's what we are going to discuss today's wonderful topic, yoga for modern age. So please stay tuned with all of us. Thank you very much. So yoga for modern age from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. So let's see what all things we are going to discuss today. So first point we'll discuss mind, friend or enemy. So the last chapter, fifth chapter, Lord Krishna intended that you will achieve peace formula, knowing that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, and I am in your heart. Suhridam Sarvbhutanam. And Arjuna again asked the question, and Lord Krishna again begin the sixth chapter with telling that he is a yogi who works. And then he start beginning telling Arjuna to control the mind. So we'll see mind, friend or enemy. And after that, Lord Krishna explained Arjuna the traditional method of Ashtanga yoga. So what is real yoga? That's what also we're going to see. Then Arjuna asks a question: what happens to a person who is unsuccessful in a yoga practice? What happens to him? And Lord Krishna explains the concept of eternal bank account. And then Lord Krishna concludes with what is the topmost yoga. So here we are. Text 5. Let's recite with me. Uddaret atmanatmanam na atma na atman vasadayet atmevhi atmano bandhur atmev ripur atmanaha. So atma may mean soul and atma may mean mind also, refer to body also. So one must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy is will. Now the question arises: when is the mind friend and when is the mind enemy? So let us see what we had discussed previously. Once we had exercise, right, about the mind, you go to pre-lockdown times. So today, again, we are going to have one exercise. Just close your eyes and think of a moment which was very bad moment in your life. I didn't want that. Just think. And now open your eyes. What were your feelings? Write in the chat box how you were feeling, just remembering your bad past. I hope you might be feeling discouraged, feeling tense, just remembering the bad thing happened to us. Now, another example. Now, remember the best person you like, the best thing happened in your life last few years. Just remember that and open your eyes. How do you feel? How do you feel now? Remembering the good which has happened. So surely you will say, when I was remembering the negatives, I was feeling discouraged. I was feeling not happy. In the same way, find out when you were feeling about the positive, how you were feeling. Were you feeling a lot of positive energy, a lot of energy in your life? Are you feeling like that? So that means what our mind associates with, that's how the energy we feel. So the mind gets stuck with negative thoughts, with lust, greed, anger. Like people just keep grudges. You know, उसने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया, वो ऐसा है, that person is like this, he's not good. And what happens? We create so much negative energy with us. And that time mind becomes our enemy. And when the same mind thinking of the good for others and free from lust, anger, greed, that mind becomes our friend. So what lesson we learn with this? Mind is our friend as well as enemy. So controlled mind is best of friends. Uncontrolled mind, best of the enemy. Now suppose, for example, if you are having a knife. Now if this knife goes to a thief, he can use this for stealing, stabbing somebody. Whereas the same knife, when it goes to a surgeon, he can save the life of a person. The knife is same, but whose hand it is and how that person uses determines is good or bad. Same way, all of us have a mental situation. बोलते मन चंगा तो कटौती में गंगा. If mind is good, everything is good. Like I remember one time I've gone to Tirupati. And 2-3 days back, something wrong had happened during that time to me. And immediately, while I was in a very nice environment of Tirupati, going to take darshan, those bad what had happened was coming in my mind. And even I was in the best of environment, just remembering those thoughts, it was looking very bad. But then I removed those thoughts and started chanting Govinda, Govinda. It became positive. And one time we were into Guruvayur taking darshan, and it was a waiting line for 3 hours. And we were thinking, why this waiting? Why this waiting? So much of waiting and the feeling, not, of course, I was not speaking, but there's a feeling inside. But then we were team of devotees, 10 devotees started doing kirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, with the best of the tunes. For 1 hour, we never came to know how the time passed. And in fact, we felt more happy doing the kirtan even after taking darshan of the Lord also there, because this is a positivity. So how the mind is the best friend and mind is the enemy as well. Now if we see this horses, how it works, how this whole soul, intelligent mind, senses, this whole thing works out, let us see. So this analogy is given in Shwet Vasak Upanishad. It's mentioned the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita in the purport. So what happened, these 5 senses are compared to the horses. जैसे रथ के घोड़े होते हैं, same way we have senses, nose, eyes, ears, and see, eye wants to watch something beautiful, it can go kilometers away. Like people may drive 30 kilometers away just to eat a pizza driven by their tongue. So this is the power of the senses, sense of touch. And this rope is compared to the mind. Rope is compared to the mind. Intelligence is the driver. And the soul is a passenger who is sitting. Now, if the intelligence is strong, the driver is strong, the mind, the reins will be controlled, right? And senses, the horses will go in right direction, and soul can peacefully have his journey. But now, if the ropes are let loose, then all horses will go into different direction, and passenger will be troublesome. So when we are mind and senses controlled, the soul is peaceful. We are peaceful in our journey of life. But when the same mind is let loose, it becomes havoc. So to make our life happy or beautiful, it's in our hand. At the same time, to make our life miserable, distressful, also is in our hand. And that's what we are going to learn today's chapter. What is yoga? The control of mind and senses and connecting to God. Now let's have an exercise. So please write the options. Is exercise, so write the options in the chat and type the options in the chat box, that where all you need to control your mind. So option A. So read these options and please write which options you feel where you need to control your mind, and then we'll discuss about it. Yeah, so I'm getting the options. So Suraj Kumar has written A. Yeah, there are multiple options, not one option, multiple options you have to choose. Okay, so many are writing. I'm seeing Anubhav have written F, Pranit Kiran A, Datta Prasad A, C, D, E, Chakresh, respecting elders, Vikas Nair F. So I'm getting all of your responses. Then Pranit Kiran Malik A, Shishneshwari Rao C and F. Okay, so let us analyze what's the right answer. Person can't speak without speaking abuses. That doesn't require control of mind. It means mind is uncontrolled. Respecting elders, yes, because generally we have some problem with the elders and we don't want to respect them. So there we need control of mind. Doing your studies for exams while your favorite movie is coming, yes, we need control of mind. Not fulfilling the urge for smoking, drinking, watching wrong things, yes, there also we need control of mind. Criticizing others at their back, we doesn't need mind control. It's a natural, is the mind is uncontrolled. Attentively listening others and understanding what they are saying, yes, we need control of mind. So what is the right answer? B, C, D, and F are the places where we need control of mind. So this is something a practical day-to-day life, and we need mindfulness. Like do any activity with full concentration, with mindfulness. So control your mind to bring the best in you. Mantra 16. Now text number 7. Jitatmana prashantasya Paramatma samahitaha Sit ushnana sukhadukheshu Tatha mana apamanayo. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all same. So, one who has conquered the mind, he can see the super soul in the heart. And for such a person, heat, cold, honor, dishonor are the same. So, these are the same time if somebody has controlled the mind. Happiness, distress is same for him. Honor and dishonor is also same. He is not affected by insult if a person has controlled his mind. Like one time, there's a story comes of Gautam Buddha. So Gautam Buddha was going, and one person was abusing Gautam Buddha, but he was not worried. Then his associates asked, "Are he's abusing so much? Why are you not giving a reply to him?" Buddha replied, "If I give a gift to this person, if this person gives a gift to me and I do not accept, where the gift will go?" And the associate replied, "The gift will remain with that person." So in the same way, he is giving me abuses, but I'm not taking it. I'm not affected by it. Then where it will get? Then he understood that nobody can affect a controlled person with a controlled mind. And soon later, the associate found that the person who was giving abuses, he became more frustrated because it could not affect Gautam Buddha there. So the person with controlled mind is beyond the instance. Now, what is yoga? So many people, they have a different conception what is yoga. So some people ask,
Okay,
yeah, I think
thanks. I enjoyed the session very much up till now. So, since you're going to explain the definition of yoga and you were picking up this point, one question is bringing with me also. We actually hear a lot of definitions of yoga. Sometimes we hear that yoga just means you have your body and mind in harmony in one line. Sometimes it is said that yoga means you have to connect our consciousness with something as universal consciousness. Some people say yoga is a good way to keep body healthy and fight up with various diseases and ailments. Some people say yoga means you should be able to concentrate on the middle of the eyebrows or a phlegm. Some people say yoga means just to be thoughtless and desireless. So like this many definitions of yoga we do find. So can you just tell that are all correct, or is there a common line in between all these definitions we can see and have a full enlightenment about it?
yes, and there are many definitions of yoga, and Bhagavad Gita covers all. And that's what we are going to see what's the Ashtanga Yoga. But in a brief, I'll answer. Like you said, is connection between self-consciousness and universal consciousness. That's what we are saying. Is connection between soul and God, the self-consciousness and the universal consciousness. And what is asanas? Is does yoga? Yoga means asanas. Many people have this understanding. That also we are going to see when you're going to see the Ashtanga Yoga. So all definitions are included what the presentations we are going to go ahead now. So would you like to see?
Sure.
Okay. So let's proceed. So there are 5 subjects of Bhagavad Gita. The first subject is, so 5 includes Jiva, we living entities, Prakriti, nature, Karma means action, reaction, Kala is the time, and Ishvara, God. So now all these 4, Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, Kala, are under Ishvara, the God. And the yoga is when the Jiva comes in connection with Ishvara, the Prakriti, Karma, and Kala, then it does not stop, does not affect the Jiva. So till the time the Jiva is not in yoga with God, the Prakriti, Karma, and Kala is affecting. But once the Jiva comes in connection with Ishwar, that is called yoga. And that's how yoga is connected to Bhagavad Gita. Now you see the essence and purpose of yoga. So the focus on Supreme Lord. Control your mind. So if you had asked what is yoga, control your mind and senses and focus on the Supreme Lord. And how it comes, all the definitions, let's see ahead. Means to connect, to add. Yoga means जोड़ना है, yoga, जोड़ना है हमें. To add, to connect ourselves to God is yoga. And here is Ashtanga Yoga ladder. Now let's understand there are 8 steps in actual yoga. This is what called Ashtanga Yoga. So Yama, Niyama, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharan, Dhyan, Samadhi. So let me explain you what is Yam. Don'ts means following, don't steal, don't tell lie, follow brahmacharya. These are yama of Ashtanga Yoga. What is niyama? Cleanliness, Ishwar Pranidhani, surrender to God. So these are don't steal, Swadhyay. These are the do's. Then asanas. So what people do, right? Surya Namaskar. This sometimes we also do. That's not a problem. But what is the purpose? So yoga doesn't mean asana. Asana is only one of the limb of Ashtanga Yoga, right? So a person is doing yama, niyama, asana, then he comes to pranayam, alom vilom, right? Then further he becomes advanced. So when Krishna says the first 4 stages are done while a person is doing work, but the further stages, dharan, dhyan onwards, there are more requirements required, which we will see. So is yoga means asanas? Yes, it's not the purpose of yoga, it's a part of the yoga, right? The purpose of asana is what? So that our mind and senses become control, and by breathing become control, then we stop sense engagement. You can't enjoy the sense objects. Just keep for eating the body and soul together. That's called pratyahar. So many yogis, they will go to jungle. We'll see how Lord Krishna is talking about pratyahar. Then dharan is for 24 seconds. You meditate. Dhyan is like 2-hour meditation. So first is concentration. Dhyan is meditation on the 4-handed form of the Supreme Lord. What is samadhi? Absorption in the Lord. That is samadhi. So in samadhi, person can be absorbed in the Lord for 22 minutes, 24 minutes time. That's it. And a person's breath can also be stopped. And they are great yogis. They mention. So this is the yoga. But let us see what it takes to come to this yoga. What are the different limbs of this yoga? And that would answer our question: what is actually yoga, and what is yoga for modern age? So elements of yoga is described by the Lord. So what should be the conscience of a person who's doing this Ashtanga Yoga? He should consider pebbles and gold as same. See, now the gold price is increasing, right? Every day. But you should see pebble and gold as same. No attraction for wealth. Consider friend and enemy to be equal. कोई बोले मैं तुम्हें जान से मार दूंगा, and कोई बोले कि you are my good friend, I will do anything for you. Both you should see with the equal vision. Don't consider anybody as your enemy. Go to a secluded place. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of nose. I've tried. Once I was in BHU, I was trying this. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, brahmacharya, one should meditate upon whom? Lord Krishna, who is in the heart. One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. So, this is yoga, right? This is yoga to do all this hard limbs and to meditate upon the Supreme Lord, as mentioned in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ashtanga Yoga. So, now, this may look little difficult, and for this, one has to go to the forest, eat only kandamul, and diet only to keep the soul, body and soul together. And you might have heard in the scriptures people performing so many austerities. So that kind of austerities, difficulties a person has to do to achieve that concentration of mind. And Lord Krishna is telling this to Arjuna, right? To telling to Arjuna, who is a householder, he's a warrior. Like most of the people who are attending sessions, either you have some career, you have some goals in life, and you may also have a household tomorrow, wife, children. Then and Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, and let's see Arjuna's response. But before that, a very nice point comes is yukta. What is lifestyle management? So Bhagavad Gita talks about very nice lifestyle management. Let's see here. Yuktahara viharasya. Please recite after me. Yuktahara viharasya. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Yukta sapnabodhasya. Yogo bhavati dukhaha. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. See, this is a general advice by Lord Krishna to everybody that sleep on time, get up on time, eat at regular times, recreation and work. What will happen? Our lot of material suffering will go. So, this is called lifestyle management. And many of the Ayurvedic doctors, they also talk about it to have a regulated lifestyle, which is very important for connecting ourselves with God. And one example of this is the digestion cycle. So if you see our digestion cycle, it works with the sun. So when the sun sets, our digestion also sets. When the sun rises, our digestion also rises. And that's why the timings of eating food should be according to the rising and setting of sun. So how our body acts at 9 p.m., 9 to 12 p.m., the body eliminates toxins from there. Then, then between 12 to 4, liver eliminates poison and toxins. So the whole elimination is happening. Then 4 to 5 is the time yogis do meditation. It's called Brahm Muhurat time, ideal time for meditation. Then 5 o'clock to 7 is stomach clearing, 7 o'clock breakfast, and 9 o'clock go for your work. So it's a very systematic cycle, which is according to the movement of sun. So when we get up before sunrise, what happens? When we get up before sun rises, we get Abha and Prabha. You will feel some kind of different freshness in mind when we get up before sunrise and do yoga practice, do spiritual practices. And further, Lord Krishna talks about the yoga. Yato yato nischalati manachanchalam asthiram tatatonyam etat manne vasham nae. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickery and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. And other further limbs of yoga, Lord Krishna is telling the yogi whose mind is fixed on me will attain the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. A true yogi observes in me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Understands that I, Lord Sri Krishna, is a super soul in the heart. True yogi perceives the happiness and distress of others as his own. Now, I have a question. Do we have Lord in the heart? Okay, I'll ask a question. When anytime you do anything wrong in your life, do you feel a guilt feeling? Do you have a guilt feeling? If yes, that's what is a conscience given to us by the Lord in our heart. And by the yoga system, one can see the Supreme Lord in one's heart. And that's why many yogis, they will go to jungle to perform this yoga to see the super soul in the heart, because in a distracted lifestyle, we cannot see it. Now let us see what did Arjuna says for such a yoga. When it was recommended to Arjuna by Lord Krishna that you do such a yoga, Arjuna is saying, Arjuna Vacha, Yo ayam yogastaya prokta samin madhusudanaha etasyam na pashyami chanchal vastitatam sthiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Because Arjuna wanting to say, can I consider Duryodhana and Bhishma same? Can I consider Duryodhana and Yudhishthir same? No, there is one friend, there is one enemy. And you're saying yoga means, such a yoga means to consider friend and enemy equal. And I have to fight also. So and the mind, I may control mind for 2-3 days, but what after that? So what should I do? So therefore, we are going to learn something very special today. So Ashtanga Yoga in modern age. So what is there in the modern age? Distraction is a part of fast life. Maintaining body and soul itself requires hard work. Forests are depleted if you have to go forest. Expenses are rocket high. Children's education, one has to spend 2 lakh per annum, 3 lakh per annum in cities. Time is very less for spiritual life and no time for reading vast scriptures. Then how to perform this Ashtanga yoga? So therefore, the yoga for modern age comes Bhakti yoga. And
I again have a question here, like which may be there in many audience. Like I can understand really by the descriptions you provided that Ashtanga yoga is very tough to be practiced in modern age with distractions. But then you said that Bhakti yoga is the yoga for modern age. So does it mean that Bhakti started only some few centuries back? Bhakti is not as old as Ashtanga? Or like how do bhakti becomes modern? That's I want to know, that how bhakti yoga is modern. Is it not ancient? Or if it is ancient, then what is that speciality in bhakti that it is able to compatible with our modern life?
yes, so I was going to take to the next slide with this only. So let's see what are the ages. So Bhakti Yoga is a very ancient science. In fact, this is given at the in the Vedas in the beginning itself. But with the but there are ages like in Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, what was the yoga? Ashtanga Yoga, because they have big life. In Treta Yuga, the yoga was doing the yagyas. That's why
Okay.
we had so much yagyas. In Dwapar Yuga, it was deity worship, grand temples, grand deity worship. But in Kali Yuga, no time for going temples. Now your Corona lockdown, you can't go to temples.
Yeah.
What to say of yagya? Pure ghee is not available, and meditation, jungles are not available.
Yeah.
But while sitting in your home, you can chant the holy names of God,
Okay.
and that is the Bhakti Yoga, which you can do while at your home. Sthane
Okay.
sthita. And by this yoga, controlling mind is very, very easy.
Got it. Like they will chant those mantras going into the jungle. They will chant those mantras in the yagya. But right now, due to this process, we can chant the mantras sitting at our home. So
Right.
that's why it becomes modern as well as it is ancient as well. Very nice explanation. Thank you very much.
So yoga for modern age, bhakti yoga.
Hmm.
Even a even a child can take part in kirtan and eat prasad, is it? So this bhakti yoga is that even a child can take part in it. Can you imagine? You can do sitting at home. You can begin with whatever time you have. Somebody may say, okay, I have only 10 minutes. Okay, start with 10 minutes. No, nobody can say I don't have 10 minutes also, right? So whatever time you can begin this yoga, Mantra meditation, not only it calms down the mind in any situation. That means what? If you do this yoga, bhakti yoga of chanting in the morning, whole day will be a blissful one. It is joyful to perform, eat, hear, chant, and dance and be happy, right? So this is the bhakti yoga. Like you eat prasadam now through Zoom, through this YouTube, we can't have prasadam, but anyone of experience of eating nice prasad ISKCON temples, you know how the prasadam looks so delicious. Here, just you are hearing this class, chant, which we are going to do now, and dancing and be happy. Free of cost classes, chanting and reduces your expenditure. One auto person, I was talking to him and I was asking that how much he was telling, बहुत दुख है संसार में. I earned 2,000, I spent 5,000. I said, where you spend? He said, शराब वगैरह में. I said, okay, you chant this mantra and your all bad habits will go away and your expenditure will reduce. So expenditure also reduces by bhakti yoga because your all bad habits go away. So different process for 4 ages. That's what we discuss. So burn away bad habits through mantra meditation. Man plus tra, mantra. Mantra means which delivers the mind, right? Mantra means which delivers the mind. Now, in a day, we have 4 kinds of thoughts: positive thoughts, negative thoughts, necessary, and waste thoughts. Waste thoughts, many times we think, oh, मैंने past में ये कर दिया, गलती हो गई, lamentation. Future में क्या होगा? Necessary thoughts, okay, work, career, negative, anger, stress, egoism, racism. Positive thoughts, joy, love, prayerful. So what this meditation does, it changes our negative and waste thoughts to positive and necessary thoughts. So we have mantras like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Now hippies became happy through mantra meditation. Freedom from the reaction of sin. So many people were asking, what if we have done bad habits before? No problem. You will get freedom from all sin. Just don't do your habits again. Now just think, it is a yoga for Kali Yuga. So even all our religions which have come in Kali Yuga, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, they also talk about chanting of the holy names. Amazing, as Sanatan Dharma talks about. Then what is the scripture reference? After searching through all the Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of Hare Krishna. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than chanting of the holy names of the Lord in this age if we want to be free from all difficult situations of the age of Kali. And who was the father of Sankirtan? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He introduces this system of chanting because previously it was this mantra was not given to everybody. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who gave this mantra 500 years before to anybody, everybody. Is the father of Sankirtan. And what is the mantra? Which we are all of you know, but we're going to have. But today we have a special guest with us. Our guest name is Vaidya Krishnamurthy, and he is working in Oracle India as the director of field operation managing India services business operations, right? And he's connected to, is also preaching to many people, introducing this life of yoga, of meditation, of bhakti yoga to many people. So he has his own family, his wife, his daughter, his children, and we have invited him to speak about that how he feels to do yoga in this modern age. So our topic is yoga for modern age. So we invited somebody who is working as a director and a company, very busy, and he will tell us how he's practicing for yoga for modern age. So we want to hear from Vaidya Subramaniam. Yes, please speak how you practice this yoga.
So am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you for inviting me for this wonderful program. I think it's a big privilege that I'm part of this learning process in some way or the other. So so your question is basically how is it that how am I practicing Bhakti Yoga in the modern age, right? That's what is your question is.
Yes, yes. How you practically see in your office life, your home, and what way meditation helps you, this mantra meditation, and what are your suggestions for our viewers?
Okay. So it's such a long, what do you call, elaborate topic if you really look at it. But if I have to keep it very short, the first the inclination comes from your conviction in what you're trying to do, right? Otherwise there is no. For example, if you have to look at someone who's a sportsman, now unless he gets down into the field and starts his practice, he cannot become a great sportsman, right? This is very basic. Like any art, look at a field of art. If MS Dhoni can play that helicopter shot, we look at it and we clap in 1 minute. But when if you really ask MS Dhoni, how did he actually perfect that? He would have spent hours and hours and hours of time getting that shot perfect. So that thousands and millions of people actually enjoy and get a lot of joy doing that. So like that, even in spiritual life, like we need to first get the basic conviction in what we are doing. Like again, the same thing. If you're simply watching television, and then you can't become a great cricketer. You need to get down into the field and practice. The same way, spiritual life is also that way, that one needs to actually practice. We can hear a lot of philosophy, so many people saying so many things. And we may also sometimes become well versed in so many theories which are there, but they are still theories. How does it become a practical application? That's basically the practice is all about. So in Bhagavad Gita, I think, I don't know if you have already covered 8th chapter, but there is one wonderful verse which Sri Krishna tells Arjuna. So he says, Tasmat sarvesu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha Mai arpito mano buddhi mam evais asya asamshayaha. So basically the meaning of this is, Krishna says, mam anusmara yudhyacha, which means remember me and also fight. And so what? Why should I fight? So there he says, Mai arpito mano buddhi. So by dedicating your mind and intelligence onto me, then he says, mam evaisasya asamshayaha. He says, you reach me without fail. That means no doubt. So this is the simple thing. Therefore, there is no question of, okay, I am a busy executive, or I am someone who has got all the time in the world. That's not the question. The question is, do I understand what is the purpose of this life? If anybody has got that kind of a thinking, then there is, to my mind, there's no choice, right? You need to start practicing. So that's how it is. So in that sense, when I came across Srila Prabhupada's, because spirituality means, today, it's all something for the old age, something which I don't even understand. In fact, there was one day, one person, I was distributing some books, and then he told me, I gave him a Bhagavad Gita. Then he asked me, is this book good? I said, yes, of course it is good. Then he said, is it like so-and-so's Bhagavad Gita? I said, I don't know, I have not read the so-and-so's Bhagavad Gita. Then he said, then I told him, that's what I was hesitating. Then I said, actually, then we can do one thing. If you have read that so-and-so's Bhagavad Gita, can you share what is it that you understood from that, whatever some of the sections? And I will share some of the sections so that we can compare and see, like, you will get a sense of what is there in this particular book. So then he said, no, it is not so easy. We can't understand all of that. It's all supposed to be very high. So I said, boss, if you have read everything, but if you're not understanding anything, what is the use? So like that, but Prabhupada's books are, so people's perception is spiritual life means something which is too much beyond our sphere of understanding, but Prabhupada gave it so simply. So I got an exposure also, like all of you, sometime I also got a chance to read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, which made me started thinking, what is this? What are we running after? What is the purpose of life? Then when I started reading, then I understood that this is something which is important. But as Prabhu was saying, not everybody will be able to completely dedicate. So I chose this path of continuing my life, but again, with the proper regulated activities along with my normal activity, then your entire life becomes fully spiritual. It's not necessary that one need to be someone who's always living in the temple, or someone who's there's no definition in that sense. It is about Mai Arpito Mano Buddhi, that if you are able to dedicate your mind, then you are actually there. So in that sense, we are all trying to practice in that sense. So I've been practicing for a couple of decades, if not more. But it's challenging, of course. It's not so easy. But again, if you are able to play within the weed, they say, right? If you're a cricketer, I'm using a lot of cricket words because that's very famous today. Everybody's thinking. So the point is, we need to be getting to the basics. So now, when you talk about basics in spiritual life, it's all about remembering the Lord, and that means chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, it's about commitment, right? If you are doing something, how do you show that I'm really interested in that? For that, one definition is about chanting the holy name of the Lord. Prabhuji would have been speaking about it, I think, in Kali Yuga. I don't know if I should even say that only way to actually get back to Godhead is by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that, I said, is playing with the V. That means that's the minimum criteria for devotional life. So we start off by accepting a specific number of times I will chant the holy name of the Lord, because everything needs practice. So we start off like that. I started off like that too. And then over a period of time, under guidance, I was able to improve that. And that becomes your kind of your part of your routine, right? Like, if you have to do exercise a morning, you so many people I see get up at 4 o'clock and then they do a walking. Some of us are like, how come he's getting up and walking at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock? You go on the road, you will see many of them. They are committed to that, and therefore they are able to achieve it. Like that, I have allocated a specific time in my life. Sometimes it may change because of the situation that I am in. But at the end of the day, I will never have to give up. That's the thought. So I will have to be regulated in how I chant the holy name of the Lord.
Yeah.
And that process has been helping me.
I am so grateful to the entire team. Actually, I'm getting association of very nice spiritual mentor like Raja Krishna ji and you yourself. So myself, Harminder, I do as a mediator in the sessions. I'm right now working very junior in corporate industry. But just you were speaking very motivational thing. Just one thing is coming up in my mind, if you can brief of, is that, like we were discussing, Raj Krishna ji was telling that how Ashtanga Yoga, we have so many regulations, yamas, niyamas, do's and don'ts. And you also spoke that you follow some regulations in this bhakti, some do's and don'ts. So like being in the corporate life, at a post of a director of a company like Oracle, if you can enlighten us, can tell us something about this do's and don'ts while doing this bhakti yoga, and you were focusing so much about this chanting, do's and don'ts while chanting this mantras.
Okay, so what are the do's and don'ts I do? So for example, as I said, the basic thing for me is chanting the holy name of the Lord. So I actually chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That means one round is equal to 108 times the mantra.
So how much time it takes for you?
So it takes 2 hours in a day.
2 hours daily you do this? Oh my
Yes,
God.
2 hours. So actually, if you see how much time you spend watching television, if you ask some people, they will actually, without realization, they will say I'm more than an hour or so. They say that, right? So it's like that. So it's not difficult actually, but it looks little. Even I felt that way. Oh, a lot of time. But, yeah. So that is one, and then there are other regulations like for example, if you are a pilot, you are not supposed to drink, right? I'm talking about alcohol. Right. So there are certain rules and regulations, if you need to improve upon. then you need to not do certain things. So I refrain from certain activities as well. I think Braja Krishna Prabhu may talk about them in due course of time, but there are always do's. For example, I do not take I don't take alcohol. I do not eat non-vegetarian. Each one slowly we can pick up these things one by one.
Okay, so thanks very much. Thank you very much for telling us the practicality of Bhakti Yoga. I'm getting really a confidence looking at you. Thank you very much, Shri.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. I shared whatever little I know. I'm sorry if I've taken more time than what is allocated, but I mean something which I need to share. Right? Thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So yeah. So we met our Vedha Subramaniam, who's a director and practicing Bhakti Yoga. So here further we go for understanding the main point of Bhakti Yoga, this mantra meditation. And one thing is very simple. Anybody can begin this Bhakti Yoga. And today we're going to begin just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 27 times. So do you want to do with me? Say yes if you want to do with me. I'm watching your chat. And if you want to do with me, we'll do it with full concentration. We will chant together and we'll count 27 times. And believe me, this will give a practical understanding what we have been discussing from last 6 sessions. So give up your hesitation and please join us for chanting. And I'm seeing many years. So let's begin. So 27 Mahamantras we will chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for participating in this meditation. And I request you, everyone, to do it every day. And now at the end, last 10 minutes, we are going to understand a very nice section. So, okay, mantra 17, as our mantras goes, chanting Hare Krishna daily is a remedy for all problems of stress, suffering from sin and bad habits. And the easiest way to control the mind is by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's something very easy, and you might have felt while doing the meditation with us. Now, after which Arjuna asks a question, what happens to an unsuccessful yogi? Means he started his yoga practice but couldn't complete in this life and did not went home back to Godhead, the kingdom of God. What happens to him? Lord Krishna replies, nothing happens wrong to a person who had begun this yoga. In fact, next life, such a person takes birth in a very wealthy family and again continues the practice of spiritual life. So that means if you have chanted today with us, even one round, you have attended the Bhagavad Gita sessions, you will continue in the next life. So here the concept comes of eternal bank account. See, in material life, even though you may become in material life, even though you may become a CEO of a company, but the next life, again, we have to start with Baba Black Sheep, right? We have to go to nursery class, LKG, or the new modern system of education which is going to come in India. So that way, we have to again begin our academics. Nobody will say, sir, you were CEO in the last life, let's going to respect you. But whatever spiritual progress we have made, suppose you have chanted today this 27 Maha Mantras. So next life, if you don't do anything, you will begin with from there. So if you have made 10% progress in this whole life, next life we begin with 11%. If you have done 80%, you begin with 81%. And that's why many of you already would have piety of last life and you're beginning somewhere in between. And that's why some people take to spirituality immediately, some people take time. But no matter wherever it is, where we begin, the progress remains and success is guaranteed. And if we do it nicely in this one lifetime, we will attain the success through bhakti yoga because it's an elevator process. It's a process where we can go very, very fast. So this is called eternal bank account. So mantra 18, deposit in a bank account which goes with you even after this lifetime. So suppose we deposit, just see, we deposit in a bank so that we get a return. If you deposit 10,000 after 10 years, you may get some 20, 30,000. So it's a deposit. But such a deposit which goes you for every lifetime. It's always there with you in this life, जीवन के साथ भी and जीवन के बाद भी. This is real LIC policy, right? It goes with us, and this is the only thing it goes. So my request is if we start chanting, it just takes 5 minutes chanting this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? Only 5 minutes it takes. But if we do it daily, what is the benefit? What's the benefit doing it? Your mind will be peaceful the moment we remember. And today we will discuss, tomorrow in the 7th session, we are going to discuss the other limbs of Bhakti Yoga. So some people were asking that the Bhakti Yoga does mean only chanting. No, it means chanting, eating prasadam. Yes, nice prasad is also you're doing Bhakti Yoga. By eating prasad also you make advancement in life, right? When you offer your food to God and then take it, you make advancement in spiritual life. By dancing in kirtan, by listening to kirtan. See, we like so many musics. And instead of music, just hear a kirtan. So bhakti yoga is an art not to change our life completely, but whatever we are doing, just connect it to God through the medium of kirtan, through the medium of service to God. Whatever you are doing, do it as a service to God. And bhakti yoga, there is no compulsion. You have to do this much only. Like somebody may do meditation with 2 hours, you may do for 5 minutes. And God is happy with everybody, whoever can do best of their capacity. And this is the beauty of bhakti yoga. And with that, the last theme I'm going to discuss, the topmost yoga system. योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेन अन्तरात्मनः श्रद्धावान् भजते मां सामे युक्तमो mata. So this is whose opinion? Lord Krishna's opinion. Of all the yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and in the highest of all, that is my opinion. So this is opinion of Lord Shri Krishna, that one who is in bhakti yoga, loving, transcendental loving service. Shraddhavan bhajateo mam. Antar Atmana, who is dear to me, is the greatest yogi. And that's how we see now the yoga ladder. So Karma Kanda. So Karma Kanda is not do worship of the Lord to get something. Sakam Karma Yoga, you offer some, You do work to get results, but you offer something to God. Nishkam Karma Yoga, you do work without desire for work and use the work and the results of work in God's service. Gyan Yoga, you have knowledge about who's Supreme Lord, my relationship with Him, and that's where you do work. Ashtanga Yoga, that's what we discussed today. Meditation Super Soul. And the highest yoga is Bhakti Yoga, which is so easy to perform. It's like an elevator. Now, you may all have a question why Bhakti Yoga is so top if it is so easy? Because generally in this world, which is hard, it's not easy. Hard, it is not topmost. Which is this hard, it's topmost, and which is easy is not topmost. But here, Bhakti Yoga is easiest, but it's a topmost yoga. What is the reason behind it? So, come tomorrow, the seventh session, we are going to discuss why. So, this story I will take. Now it's already 8 p.m. So I'll not take the story. I'll take the story tomorrow in the seventh session. It's a wonderful story which will explain that why Bhakti Yoga is the highest yoga and why Krishna emphasizing on the Bhakti Yoga. So before that, just have a conclusion what we read today. So yoga for modern age, control your mind to bring the best in you. Mind is friend or enemy, mind best friend, uncontrolled mind. Spiritual progress is eternal, no loss at any point of time. Then 5 subjects of Bhagavad Gita. Then we discuss Ashtanga Yoga, sacrifices, yagyas, deity worship, chanting the holy names of God. Different process in different ages. All major religions emphasize on chanting the holy name, and topmost yoga is Bhakti Yoga. And the summary of mantras: control your mind to bring the best in you. Chanting Hare Krishna daily is a remedy for all problems of stress, sufferings from sin, bad habits. Deposit in a bank account which goes with you even after this lifetime. Now we have covered our all 6 chapters, right? First 6 chapters. So what we have learned? Chapter 1, Arjuna gets confused. Chapter 2, Krishna gives the knowledge of soul and Karma Yoga. Chapter number 3
This
is about
having
Karma
with
Yoga.
us with you on this enlightened journey of the 6 chapters in Bhagavad Gita concepts in the great transcendental literature. So we have already announced the quiz winners, and today I have one more announcement to Shivaj Krishna ji, is that there is one participant whose name is Bhagya, and her birthday is there today. She's asking for your blessings. So today, so from our Gita Life team side, very happy birthday to Bhagya, and she's asking your blessings.
So we pray to Lord Krishna and all the acharyas that they bestow their choicest blessings upon you on this wonderful day, and you make progress in your life and make both material and spiritual progress in your life.
Yeah. So actually your participants are very enthusiastic in the way they fill up the quizzes and all. It's very nice. I request all of them to continue filling up the quizzes. They may be getting call from the Gita Life team. They can interact with them to make our presentation more and more beautiful and relevant. Shall we move ahead with question answers?
Yeah, just one concluding thing I wanted
Okay.
to say, and then
Yeah, please.
so yeah, chapter 4, transcendental knowledge, chapter 5, action with transcendental knowledge, and chapter 6, Ashtanga Yoga. So we have concluded with this, and that's how we concluded. So now we'll go to question. Before that, so today Shreyas gave his feedback. Now
Yeah.
all of you are attending sessions, but I don't know how you are liking the session, what you're learning from the session. So my request is each one of you, please record what did you like and how did it help you. The 6 sessions, record, and you must be in a WhatsApp group like Success Mantras from Gita. In that WhatsApp group, it will only go to admin. No, it will not be shared publicly. So please send it, and I will personally hear that. And I will love to hear if you even you are hearing this video offline after the live is over. Then also please record your audio and send
Realization.
me maybe 2 minutes that what did you like, how it helped you. I'm
It's
really
very
happy
nice.
to receive. And whoever sends the best will have some prizes also for them. Thank you.
Okay, I will also try with a different name, and I will try to modulate my voice a little. Okay, so let's move for the question answer part, the most
Yeah.
interesting one and my favorite also. So the question of today are as follows. I think two of the questions you have already answered, but I will repeat them. Mr. Tushar Padia is asking that in Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, which is the best? So I am waiting for tomorrow. Shall I tell him to wait for tomorrow, or you will answer a bit today?
So according to Lord Krishna's opinion, Bhakti Yoga is best, and why it is best. Tomorrow we'll discuss it more. But for this age, Bhakti Yoga is made very simple. One more reason I'll tell you. Karma Yoga is performed with mind and senses. Gyan Yoga is performed with mind. Ashtanga Yoga is performed with intelligence because when you have to meditate, you need intelligence to control the mind. And Bhakti Yoga is performed with heart, devotion, and love. And because devotion and love is very near to the soul, that's why it becomes easy and more dear to the Lord. And that's why it's the topmost yoga.
Okay.
And more reasons we'll see tomorrow.
Fine. Thank you very much. There is one question from Mr. Deepak Kumar. He is asking that why Creator has created this creation? Is creation is to make us enjoy in spiritual world only? Was our soul created just to enjoy in the spiritual world? Please explain me the purpose of this creation. What is the real purpose of the cycle of birth and death?
Really, I really appreciate this question and I'm very happy to answer. So I will give a very detailed answer to this in the 8th session next coming Saturday. But still, I'll speak. See, the creation is like this world is not like a hotel. In hotel, you order your meal when you come to enjoy and you get what you want. But it's like a hospital where we have come for reformation. We have come to this world for a reformation. So we had a desire to enjoy separately from God. And God said, okay, I will arrange that. And He created this world. But He created karma so that people can live civilized way. But when we break those laws of God, then we bring suffering. And then we realize that yes, it's not a place where I can be happy. I can be only happy with my spirit, with my Father God, because I'm a part and parcel of God. I'll give an example. Just like I remember in my childhood, I will ask my mother the toy kitchen, and I will try to cook roti on that. But when the time of actual eating, the lunch will come. I'll go to my mother, please khana do, because the toy kitchen will not produce roti. So I was just playing with it. In the same way, God gave us here that we can try whatever way we can be happy. At the last soul realize I can only be happy when I connect yoga with Supreme Lord. And
Okay.
that's the best way of happiness,
Yeah.
right? So the God has made this world for purification, for fulfilling our desires. For we had a desire to try to enjoy like God. That's what people say, na? Live life king size. Everything should be under my control, right?
Yeah.
I should be the greatest person on the world. Everybody has
Mm.
this kind of desire. In fact, to that extent, one devotee told me that his one relative was going in means one distant person was going, and they were going for take darshan of Balaji. So this devotee was praying, "Oh Lord, I'm your servant. How can I serve you?" But this relative was saying, "How God will be feeling nice now? If I'm God, I'm also sending, giving blessings. So many people are coming and worshiping me." So
Yeah.
because people think like this, and that's why the suffering comes and they realize, no, 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 we're meant to serve the Lord, and we will be very happy with God. Means now you see husband and wife. The wife serves the husband, but wife also feels happiness, isn't it? Like Arjuna is with Krishna, but Arjuna is also feeling great happiness. In fact, Krishna has become Arjuna's charioteer.
Narrative.
So with God, we are always happy.
Yeah, actually, Deepak is a very sincere boy. Sometimes we have very healthy discussions. So I
Okay.
appreciate his question is very sincere. This question is specifically kept for you. Okay, very nice question. Next question is from Nilima Sharma ji, and she's asking that Dhruva did not practice spirituality. I feel like that. He was inexperienced, how he started everything. And one more thing, she is asking that can she chant the name of goddess?
Yeah. So very nice question about Dhruva. First, I'll explain about Dhruva. Dhruva had a great desire to search for Supreme Lord. His mother told, Beta, Supreme Lord can give you happiness, can give you love, what millions of mothers like me cannot give. So go to Supreme Lord. Because Dhruva was very much affected. His stepmother had very much insulted. To that extent, she was weeping, and even his real mother was also weeping, Suniti. And Suruchi had very much insulted Dhruva that you have to sit on the lap of father, then die and take birth from my womb again. Such harsh words. And Dhruva really wanted to meet Lord Vishnu. So when you are searching a guru, God sends guru, right? Krishna sends guru. So Lord Vishnu sent Narad Muni. And then Narad Muni told him the process. So that was Satya Yoga. But in Satya Yoga also, Narad Muni gave him the process of Ashtang Yoga. He gave him the process of chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He gave him the deity worship and practicing austerities. And he did severe bhakti with a lot of austerities for 6 months, and he obtained the darshan of the Supreme Lord. So he also had a guru who gave him bhakti. So through bhakti yoga, Dhruva attained perfection immediately. And therefore, we have to do bhakti under a guru. So we know where we connect to a bona fide parampara, and that's how we receive mantras, which have power to invoke success in our life. So therefore, we are giving this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And next session, we are going to learn what is relationship between Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, other demigods. So please come for our sessions for more discussion tomorrow. Thank you, Nilima. So any other question, or we end with it?
Okay. So the question is, can you explain a little bit more about how we can make right decisions controlling our mind? If mind is created by God, it should be able to make decisions, but it's not able to do so. Can you explain?
Yes.
And how can we make perfect decisions from our mind?
See, mind has three attributes, right? It has a storehouse of unfulfilled desires, previous experiences, right? And intelligence is the decision maker. So mind gives options, and intelligence makes decision. Like if you go to a shop, you see a gulab jamun, then the senses give input. Oh, gulab jamun, and the mind gives experience. पिछली बार खाया था बहुत अच्छा है. Then intelligence decide खाना है नहीं खाना है. Because उसमें मक्खी भिनक रही है, it may be contaminated. Let me not eat it. So it's the intelligence which makes discrimination. And when we have philosophy, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we can make our intelligence strong. Like in that analogy, the driver drives the chariot, right? And the ropes are in the hand of the driver. So to that degree, the ropes are being tightened, right? To that degree, mind is controlled. The intelligence is strong, mind is controlled, and you make a right decision. So keep coming to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. You will know what are the parameters to make right decisions in your life. So God has given us mind, intelligence. God has given us knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to make right decisions. Thank you. I think you are muted, Harminder.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm right. Yeah. So one interesting question. This may be the last question because we are running out of the time. We have 2 minutes left. The question is as follows. As we discussed in the session, Ashtanga Yoga was discussed in Satya Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga you are telling to discuss in Kali Yoga. Does it prove that Ashtanga Yoga is higher than Bhakti Yoga?
So repeat again.
You said that in Satya Yuga, people had more capacity, so they practiced Ashtanga Yoga in jungle. Now in Bhakti Yoga, since at many places we are very degraded, we should practice Bhakti. Does it prove that Ashtanga is higher than Bhakti?
So see, Ashtanga yoga practices are little strong, and the people of Satya Yoga, for them to practice bhakti was very simple. So they needed a process which completely engaged, and for them to do meditation was very, very easy because complete atmosphere is in mode of goodness. And Lord wants to see that a person does his best to attain him, right? So Ashtanga Yoga completely gave a chance to people to try their austerities and everything, and they have a very big life spans, much what it is there in Kali Yuga today. Even in Dwapar Yuga, Pandavas at the age of 125 years, they were quite healthy, and that's how they left. At the age of 150 years, they left to north. They didn't have diseases or old age, even at 150 years of age in Mahabharata. So they have a very big span, and they could do and perfect the life in one. But in Kali Yuga, it's very, very difficult. So if we do our best in Bhakti Yoga, taking shelter of the Lord. See, scriptures say though Kali Yuga has so many difficulties, but one good benediction is that what? Just by chanting you achieve perfection. Because we can very easily take shelter of the Lord and make perfection very fast. And Bhakti Yoga is like a cry of the child for the Lord. Like for example, if somebody has to go to USA, he has to try for his passport, go to visa, make so many efforts. But if a child, he cries to the mother who is in USA, mother, please come and take me. Then mother will come next day, make visa, passport, and take the child. Though Bhakti Yoga looks simple, but because you're connected to the Supreme Lord, who makes arrangement for advancement, it's much easier and higher. So we are like that child, depending upon the Supreme Lord. So, and even in Satyuga, kings like Amrish, they practice Bhakti Yoga. Even Dhruv Maharaj also practiced Bhakti Yoga because only Bhakti pleases the Lord and gives a complete perfection. And we'll see more tomorrow with this. Thank you very much. And we once again thank our Vaidya who had come for giving us his association and so much of enlightenment. Thank you. Hare Krishna.